Now, one of the things that we know coming from the new energy vehicle market in China is that it continues growing. We continue seeing a huge demand into the new energy vehicle growth. I mean, earlier today we saw JP Morgan coming and said that the biggest new energy vehicle car maker globally, which is BYD, it's going to sell 6.5 million cars by 2026. They came and increased their sales target onto BYD from 6 million to 6.5 million. And one of the reasons is because the EV market, or the new energy vehicle market in China, continues to grow, and this growth is not expected to slow down anytime soon, which is something that obviously it's great. I mean, this is the very same growth that makes companies like NEO to go confident, or to feel confident when they think about year 2025, where they are expecting to double sales. It is for this growth that we are seeing onto the new energy vehicle car market in China, where consumers, or the Chinese consumers, are becoming more comfortable buying new energy vehicle cars than obviously gas car. And it is also being made possible by the Chinese government, that is offering subsidies of up to 20,000 RMB when you swap your old car for new energy vehicle car, which is very, very great. Now, the reason why I'm talking, or I'm telling you about this, what JP Morgan came and said today, is, well, China Passenger Car Association indicated that for the month of February, they expect all cars to be sold in China to reach 1.25 million, up 13% year on year, but down 30% from January. Now, new energy vehicle car sales in China, that China Passenger Car Association expects, it's around 600,000, down 19% from, of course, the January delivery. So China Car Passenger Association is saying, look, what we saw in January, those figures, they are expecting most of the cars to drop sales by 19%, which this might include our very own NEO sold over 13,800 in January. But personally, I believe that NEO can get 100% delivery growth rate, as compared to, can get 100% delivery growth year. NEO can get 100% delivery growth rate year on year, meaning that the 8,000 that we saw last year might double to 16 this year. It is very much possible regardless of this. And if NEO is able to do this, not only will they have beaten the kind of deliveries they reported last year, but they would have beaten average car companies, or new energy vehicle car companies in China, because China Car Passenger Association is expecting a 19% drop on most of the car or new energy vehicle car companies in China when you look into the January deliveries. And therefore, most of the car companies or new energy vehicle companies that sold those specific numbers that you know, those numbers, chances are they might drop 19%. But we know there are companies like Xpeng, companies like Lioro, that are doing so well, and I don't think some of the companies will be hurt by this. In fact, we might see some good gains or some good growth as compared to obviously the kind of sales that we saw in January. But something that you must take into cognizance about February is that February is short. I mean, this month, it's ending next week on Friday, which will be the 28th. So the month is shorter, which obviously it would make sense why they would say, of course, the drop, it will be more than they are expecting a 19% drop when it comparing to the kind of sales that they generated, or these car brands generated in January, which is something that obviously we need to have that at the back of our mind. But the good thing is that it's still 13% increase year over year. So year over year, the total sales or car sales will still be on the rise, but from January it will be down 19%, which this we need to have at the back of our minds before we even expect, or we see these car companies that we own like NEO announcing their deliveries next week on Saturday. We must have this at the back of our minds, because this might have an influence and impact onto the deliveries like NEO. We know that NEO is a company that, I think, based off what we saw 3 days ago, we saw figures that showed how many cars there has NEO sold from the 1st of January to the 16th of February. And in total, I think it was around over 7,000, which therefore simply means that NEO, with this last like almost 2 weeks, they need to make sure that they get additional over 9,000 to get to the 16,000, which will take them to 100% delivery growth rate as compared to the kind of sales they generated last year in February. I said I'm hopeful that NEO can produce 100% delivery growth rate, but let's wait, let's see how this whole thing unfold. But as it stands, this is what China Car Passenger Association is expecting coming from, of course, EV companies like NEO. They are saying 19% drop. We need to brace ourselves for that. It's coming. This is what they expect. And one thing that you must know about them, they don't miss by much. So their expectations, their predictions, it's not very far off from the actual figure, which simply means that it might be 19 or maybe 2% below than this, or maybe even 2% higher than this 19%, which is something that obviously it will be determined by the, or will see by the actual figures that this car company generate. But for NEO, we hope to see NEO reporting or selling over 16,000, which will represent 100% delivery growth rate like what we are expecting, so that at least investors can be at ease to say that indeed NEO can sell or report 100%, or NEO can see 100% delivery growth rate this year, which will be so great if they can achieve that. So yeah, man, this is what we saw. This is what is expected. Hopefully it does not get that bad for NEO, and hopefully, of course, even if, and worst case scenario, even if maybe they failed to hit the 100% delivery growth rate, can they be at least close? Because if they don't get as close as possible, then it will be making the situation for NEO to double sales very difficult. So they need to make sure that, in as much as, yes, it might be difficult, they try to get as many sales as possible to get to that 100% delivery growth rate, because this will indicate, or it will be signaling to the investors that indeed NEO is on the roadmap to 100%. But if they fail drastically, then it will not be that good. I mean, in March, NEO is expecting to sell 20,000 of ONVO alone, and with that, we can expect maybe 10,000 coming from NEO, which that in total will give us plus 30,000, which will be the second month since NEO's existence, seeing NEO sales going over 30,000. So yeah, man, just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that every time I drop a new content, YouTube notifies you that there's a new video that has been loaded. And let's share this video so that people can get the good news about the NEO stock. I'll see you on my next video, and God bless you all.